Now they lost it on the 40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they're the talk of the town. High-class sales of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories. From touchdowns to heartbreakers, we discuss it all. Texas Longhorns glory. There we gather round each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Harry, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams who might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
Hey, man. Listen, that intro gets me pumped every time I see it. Like,
listen, it was fun getting an opportunity to work on that.
Right.
Obviously, we had somebody make our first intro video, so to be able to put our own touch on our own channel was really cool. So great work by you on that. We put that in with like 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Really,
Good.
I started it last week, and then
we work on getting a song, bro. That I did not expect. It sounded great. It sounds great.
And it works. It works. The flexibility we have now is we can update it throughout the season. We can do whatever we want with it. We own it. This is ours.
Right.
Anyway, welcome to the Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. My name is Harish, along with my buddy Tim Wayne. How you doing tonight, sir?
Man, it's a cool night before the hot weather comes. We had a small cold front. I think it was like 60 yesterday. It was like 55 today. Tomorrow we're right back in the 70s, heading into the 80s, and heading into my birthday month in March Madness.
And spring football.
And spring football.
Don't forget spring football. March Madness is fun and all.
Yeah.
And spring football. I have a thought, and we'll talk about this when we talk about the men's basketball team. But something just came upon me about this basketball team. I kind of don't want to talk to you about it. But first, we've got a lot to talk about. 11 Longhorns in the NFL at the NFL Combine this weekend. 3 of them went. Well, 2 of them went today, and they went hard and made some money for themselves.
Yeah.
One of them injured himself, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Kind of unfortunate because he kind of needed a big combine day. So hopefully the injury's not too bad. He can come back, and we hope for the best for him because he deserves this moment. So, but before we get on to that, let's play some Bills here, Tim Wayne.
Yeah, let's do it.
FanBattlesports.com, where you can find the latest, greatest of all the AFC South, of course, including the Colts, where we host the NFL Combine because that's the cool place to host it at. You can find information on the Mayo Eaton Titans, the Texans who stole my franchise quarterback, and the Jaguars, who Doug Peterson talked about how his quarterback isn't generational, even though we've been trying to tell him for 3 years. So, fanbattlesports.com. Also, go to the website if you're interested in starting your own show. We will provide you with all your assets.
That's messy, bro. It's only
That's not messy. It's been 4 years.
Okay.
It's been 4 years. Listen, you should know better than anybody else, Tim. Trevor Lawrence did not play well in Clemson unless he had talent, and he had a hell of a lot of talent at Clemson.
That dog, Trevor, you're like really downplaying Trevor Lawrence.
I'm not. Look, if I think it goes back to the generational talent talk that we talked about. Look,
Okay.
to me, a generational talent is a guy that can will anybody and everybody to victory, regardless of who's on his team, regardless of what under any circumstances.
Any circumstance. Okay.
Peyton Manning was a generational talent.
Was Andrew Luck a generational talent?
He was a generational talent. What talent did Andrew Luck have around him?
He had T.Y. Hilton, right?
T.Y. Hilton was a 4th-round pick.
Whoa. Tom Brady was drafted 199, sir.
Yeah, Tom Brady ended up being a generational talent.
Right. So it don't matter where you go.
But I'm talking about at the quarterback position. But Tom Brady willed. Who was that wide receiver that Tom Brady took Deion Branch to a Super Bowl? That's generational talent. Do you think Christian Kirk is better than Deion Branch?
Yes, I do.
He started the season 8-2, and they couldn't even make the playoffs. Yeah, I understand. Andrew Luck took that Colts team to an AFC title game with a lacerated spleen.
Why did Andrew Luck not get Stanford into the national championship?
Because they got screwed. They got screwed. Isn't there that one year where they were like right there on the edge of being in the BCS, and they got screwed by I don't remember weren't they like number 3?
Yeah.
And they went undefeated?
I don't know if they went undefeated, but I know they were in the talks of the national championship.
Yeah, they were right there. They were right there.
I'm being facetious, but
I know you're being facetious. You know what? I wish Andrew Luck had Travis Etienne, Justin Ross, all those guys. That would have been nice. T.Y. Hilton would have. Andrew Luck. Imagine Andrew Luck with that team.
Okay.
He's not a generational. He's a very, very good player. He's not a generational talent. He should have been able to take this Jaguars team that they had this year and made a deep playoff run, and they choked it. Sure, he had some injuries. He missed one game through all those injuries.
Right.
No excuses. That's not generational to me. And he hasn't proven but one season. He's had one good season. And 4.
Okay. Hey, man, I'm not going to fight you on this, man.
Because I talk to Jaguars fans about this all the time. Jaguars fans are getting pissed off with them.
What?
Well, I don't know why they get pissed off. They haven't, their best quarterback in their entire lifetime was Byron Leftwich. So I don't know what they're pissed off for.
David Garrard.
Blake Bortles did better.
Blake Bortles got to an AFC championship.
And Trevor Lawrence can't even make the playoffs. What are we talking about, Tim Wayne?
Listen.
What are we talking about? That team Blake Bortles had was worse than this team.
I think Trevor Lawrence is better. No, that team Blake Bortles had was crazy good.
He had a good defense. He didn't have a good offense.
Bro, that defense.
Have they ever had a tight end like Evan Ingram? You know what? Screw this. What you come up on a Sunday and talk to us about that. I don't give a crap about these.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Let's
let them have their own damn show. I don't want to talk about this crap. Anyway, so Combine started today, and bro, I'm always excited to watch the Combine.
Oh yeah, me too.
I haven't been this excited to watch a Combine in a very long time.
My weekend is already planned out, bro.
Oh, we had three TVs in our house that had the Combine on today.
I'm gonna have the Combine on all weekend.
Yeah, my wife had it on. My wife had it on in her office while she was working. I had it on in the living room. I had it on upstairs. We had it on everywhere.
Right.
Oh, dude,
that's how it's supposed to be, man.
Bro, I love it. I'm lucky with the wife, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
She was looking for Colorado players. It's like, hey, you do know that Colorado went 4-8, right? Like literally, what Colorado players are at the Combine? I think they had one, Jared Weaver. I think it was actually really good.
Yeah. He was good.
I think wide receivers are tomorrow.
I would think wide receivers would be.
Oh no, Saturday. For some reason, I keep thinking today was Friday.
Yeah, today it feels like a Friday.
It really did, but it's only Thursday, which is why we're here. So that puts it back into perspective. It's basically Friday. I mean, Thursday's over. We'll wrap up here. I'll go watch a little bit of TV, and then it'll be Friday.
Right.
But today we had defensive linemen and linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to watch any of today? Actually, first, before we get there, for the folks that don't know, here's the list of Longhorns that will be participating or should be that were invited to the Combine. We've talked about this before, but we'll actually talk about it in depth. So Jonathan Brooks obviously won't be testing this week. He's still injured. He should be back in the next 90 days.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. ACLs are not ACLs of the past. People recover from ACLs a lot faster these days.
Right. I mean,
technology and all that. But when I mean back, I don't mean like fully ready to go, but like running, starting to do some drills, starting to get some light workouts. We're talking not 3 days from now. That puts us basically at June.
Right.
So he's getting ready for training camp. Probably OTAs. You know, he might do some light work. You don't think he'll be? I think he's going to be ready by training camp.
Do you think he gets drafted?
Yes, I think he might get drafted in the 3rd round.
Really?
He's still rated the top running back in the draft. Maybe number 2.
That's awesome. I hope so, man. I really hope so. You know, the ACL thing is always scary. Even though we do have, modern technology has taken us, farther than we could ever thought. ACL tends to be the end of your career. So we've seen freaks of nature do crazy things with ACLs, like Adrian Peterson come back and run for 2,000 yards. We've seen a number of wide receivers. Odell Beckham came back, tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, came back, had a great season with the Ravens. So, yeah, man, I really hope we get to see him. I'm really interested in where he would go. He kind of reminds me of a DeAndre Swift type, where he can run downhill, he can run out of the shotgun. So I'm really interested to see where he goes, how he goes. So also those Combine cards come out, baby. I need one of them.
I was gonna say you might get yourself a Combine warrior, Byron Murphy, because that dude was a warrior today.
Yeah, Byron Murphy was.
He might have secured himself a top 15 spot.
Yeah, man.
He's right now. The last mock draft I saw had him going 12 to the Raiders.
Oh wow!
Do you think under Antonio Pierce? I think that's a really good fit, actually.
Right. I definitely see both Byron Murphy and Sweat definitely going within the next, the top 25 at least. I don't see Tavondre Sweat, or Byron Murphy falling past 25. I think there's too many teams that need help defensively.
Especially on the defensive line.
Right. It even crazier, even if they did fall past 25, they're going to usually the better teams. So, like, even let's say somebody like Kansas City lets go of Chris Jones, right? Because it's just too expensive, right? It's too expensive to keep him. Like, we'll let him go, we'll trade him, whatever the case may be. And then they go and get somebody like a Javondre Sweat, and they just plug it in, and like they free up cap room and they get younger. Like that. This is like our favorite Longhorns can end up being in some really dope spots.
They really can to come in, take their time, compete, and develop quickly and play for a championship contender quickly.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys end up in one of two places. Either, a Kansas City situation. I think some of them are going to just end up on bad teams, and that's unfortunate because it's just how the draft goes. I think if some of these guys they don't even have to land on a championship contender, but these fringe contenders, right? You talk about these guys that are almost there. What's a good team? Like the Lions, the Cowboys, who else?
The Eagles,
Niners,
the Browns,
the Colts,
like all of those guys. They're like they're teetering,
right there. Yeah,
one or two pieces could take them over. Maybe some depth, wide receiver depth, offensive line, defensive line depth. It's kind of crazy right now. We got Longhorns spread out throughout, offense and defense that can do a number of things. So it's really going to be dope watching. What do you think? Do you think Xavier Worthy is going to run a 40?
Oh, dude. I think Xavier not only is going to run the 40, he's going to run like a 4.2, 4.3. He's going to run a stupid 40. His 40 is going to be, bro, if you talk about combine warriors, like if you guys play Madden Ultimate Team, you better wait for a 99 speed Xavier Worthy because that dude
I think it's coming. I think that's
he's going to run like a 4.2, 4.3.
Because what I always get excited about, especially with the combine, is like finding that fast player that like that one guy that he's just like, remember when Trendon Holiday came out? he was
Trendon Holiday.
Like he ran like something stupid crazy.
So there's this guy. There's this guy. His name is Mike Williams. And I guess he's from 229 Sports, and I think he tagged us in this video that he put up of Adnan Mitchell.
Okay.
Do you know who he compared him to?
Xavier Worthy?
No, Adnan Mitchell.
Reggie Wayne.
Think Cowboy.
Michael Irvin? Des Bryant?
Modern.
CeeDee Lamb? Oh, wow.
He says, wide receiver study last night. It didn't go like I thought it would. As a Buckeye fan, I love MHJ, of course, but I came away from it thinking I love Adonai Mitchell. He's CeeDee Lamb. His release of the line off the line is elite. His ball skills are elite. He's polished. Somebody's going to get a hell of a wide receiver out of Adonai Mitchell.
I've been seeing a lot of mock drafts and stuff like that. I do pay attention to the mock drafts because I just want to see, and maybe we could come up with like where we think our Longhorns are going to go as we get closer to the draft.
Yeah.
But I really think that our wide receivers are some of the best ones. Now I get it. Marvin Harrison Jr., that's like he's 6'3", bro, and he moves like a gazelle, dog. Like we know he's gonna go.
He's just a freak of nature, right?
We know he's gonna go top 5. He's bigger than his dad, bro.
There's a lot. There are a lot. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of very, 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 very good receivers in this draft. This receiver draft is reminiscent of was it like 4 years, maybe 2020, 2021?
2018?
No, the DK Metcalf. The DK Metcalf draft. How deep that draft was at receiver. Yeah, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman Jr., like that draft. That draft was deep.
Yeah, that's the draft class that had CD in it.
CD Lamb. Yeah. This is very reminiscent of that draft class as far as how deep it is and how many
Did that draft class have Jamar Chase?
I think Jamar Chase was 2020. This draft class is 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But just in the top 10, there's projected 3 wide receivers to go off the board.
Who's projected that you see?
In the top 10? Well, the guy I really want, Roma Dunze, is projected to go 7-6 to the Giants.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, have fun with that. That dude's
Dude,
great.
if you don't have a quarterback to throw the ball, whatever. Go ahead.
Bro, he can run. The dude can do everything. He can run an RPO.
If
he
you
can
don't,
run a screen.
To me, they don't have the QB personally, but this is not an NFL podcast. They don't have the QB. Danny Dimes is like, he's not going to work.
He can't throw a 2-yard pass?
You're going to lose. You're going to lose probably Saquon. So, like.
Yeah, I heard Saquon to the Texans today. He wants to go to the Texans.
I've heard Texans.
I'm terrified.
I've heard people say, "Yo, he needs to go to the Chargers. He needs to go." I've heard, and I don't take this with a grain of sand, but like Keyshawn Johnson and Richard Sherman were like, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying to go get Saquon. Like,
yeah, they need to go get. Listen, I think the guy, what's his name? Not Justin Forsett. What's homeboy's name?
Which one?
Cowboys running back.
Tony Pollard?
Yeah. I think Tony Pollard's great. He's not a number 1 running back.
No, he's too.
I mean, he's
too long. I think he's
really good. He's just not big enough to me.
He's
That's
a
the
great
problem.
home hitter. He was great, but he went
great in the. He's great on the run too, in the passing game.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could use a guy like a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley in that offense.
Listen, if Jonathan Brooks is there,
Jonathan who? Brooks? Oh yeah, Jonathan Brooks would be perfect. But anyway, so Roma Dunze is 6, Malik Neighbors 5 to the Chargers, Marvin Harrison 4 to the Cardinals.
Oof.
Marvin Harrison, Kyler Murray will my God. Stop it. Quick sidebars. We need to talk about the rest of these guys, but there's so much to talk about. Quick side. Did you know Dallas Turner ran a 4.4 today?
Yeah, it was impressive.
I didn't know that dude could run like that. I had no idea, man. I was not familiar with your game, sir.
This is the great thing about the combine. You find out so much. You're like, yo,
bro, how athletic some of these guys are.
I didn't look like that on the field, bro. I didn't see Dallas Turner running like that on the field. But
bro, I was not aware of your of your game.
Yeah, then you could go back and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's a great time, man.
It does make sense. So let's talk about the rest of the guys tomorrow. I believe we have defensive backs and tight ends. So we see Jatavian Sanders. One thing about a lot of these guys' interviews that stuck out a lot is how much they love Quinn Ewers and how much they talk about Quinn Ewers a lot. T'Vondre Sweat mentioned him. I think I took count at least 7 times in his interview. Jatavian awesome. Sanders talks about Quinn Ewers a lot. Dude, I think Quinn Ewers is going to be the best quarterback in college football next year.
I hope so. I really hope so.
If you look, and I've said this before, if you look at the jump he took from year 1 to year 2, he took a big jump. If he takes another massive jump, he's the best quarterback in college football.
Yeah, some people don't. Some people say Shador.
That's not talking about that. Anyway, I don't want to talk about. I need Shador to win some football.
No disrespect to Shador. I like Shador.
I like Shador too. But that team is ass. That team is so bad. That team needs so much help, bro. Listen, I think Deion Sanders could build a better team in 3 hours of college football 25 than he's going to build in the next 2 years. Honestly, man, I'm sorry. Look, I saw this video today of their top tackle taking down a defensive end. I was like, hey, I know your freshman 5-star left tackle took down that defensive end. That dude won 4 games last year. He couldn't get around a brick wall. Of course he took him down. What are you talking about? What are we talking about right now?
Dog, let's move on, bro. Let's move on, bro.
Anyway.
He couldn't get around a brick wall.
Anyway.
Like, that's the so you guys know, just in case you guys don't know, the person that talks the trash the most on the Twitter account is this
obviously
guy. This guy right here.
Obviously.
This guy right here is
listen
has our Twitter account in shambles, dog.
I don't have our Twitter in shambles. I have everybody else in shambles.
Like, dog, my trash talking is piquito, bro. Compared
I don't know what. This is called Texas Longhorns fan battle.
Right.
This isn't called be nice to everybody. This is called fan battle. Now there's moments where we have to be like I don't know if you heard about that baseball player from Tech. Mm-hmm. Something happened. Yeah. I mean, so send your thoughts to players. Hey, that's sympathetic.
That was crazy.
Beyond that, man, that sucks. I hope that guy gets well. But y'all need to continue to bring Joey McGuire to your games and let him speak before every time he plays the Longhorns so he can dust y'all's asses and everything.
Jesus, can we bring that guy to
He's coming back next week. He'll be on the field next week when we play Tech. And then we're gonna smoke it 16-2. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
That guy sucks so bad, dog. He's such a bad what are you doing? What is your deal?
He's like me, except his trash talk can't be backed up by anything.
His trash talk sucks, bro.
It does suck. Come here and fill this stadium so I can beat the crap out of them Longhorns. And then we lost by 20. Listen, if Brock Cunningham doesn't Brock Cunningham played the best game of his career, by the way.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get ejected, we might have won that game by 30.
Yeah, you want to talk
They definitely let off the gas.
You want to talk about all gas, no brakes. the men's
That's the best game that team has played all year. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Let's get through the rest of this list because we've only gotten through 2 names. There's still 9 more.
Yeah.
You keep interrupting me. I don't know why you do that. Jesus
My
Christ.
bad.
You kill me, man. All right. Just kidding. I interrupt myself. Anyway, so Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Ford, Christian Jones. We'll see Christian Jones on Sunday. We'll see. Jalen Ford gets hurt today. Tweaks something. I don't know what he tweaks while he's doing the long jump. So he ends up not doing any of the drills, which I think that kind of hurts him because he was like a fringe 4th round pick.
Right.
So he might end up being like undrafted very, very late. I think he does end up getting picked up though. It'll just be a lot later. Obviously, we'll see Xavier and AD on Saturday with the quarterbacks, as well as Jatavian on Saturday.
Right.
And then Christian Jones we'll see Sunday. Ryan Watts we'll see tomorrow. Oh, and Jordan Whittington. You know who I think would be perfect? Where Jordan Whittington would be perfect?
Where?
The Colts. Let me tell you why.
Of course.
Let me tell you why. We love receivers that can block.
Right.
And that dude can block like with the best of them.
You want to talk about a really dope ass receiver? Jordan Whittington literally does everything. He can block. He can block. He can screen. He can go over the middle. He can get up high. He's a surefire target. Could you imagine what Tom Brady could do with something like a Jordan Whittington if Tom Brady was still playing? That would be nuts.
Insane. So Jordan Whittington, I think he's going to end up being like a late 4th, 5th round pick, maybe.
I think
he's going to make a roster.
Yeah, he's going to be a steal of a draft.
Yeah, he's going to make a roster.
He can end up being like a better Hunter Renfrow, like a way better Hunter Renfrow because he's
bigger.
Yeah, he's bigger, faster.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow is a great receiver, by the way, but I really see a lot of I see him as like a Swiss cheese type situation He can do anything. He can be on anybody. He can beat any coverage, any type of. You can line him up anywhere. Maybe not Hunter Renfrow. Maybe more Debo. Maybe,
yeah. Well, I think you think about his size.
Right.
You think about all that stuff. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So just kind of where I'm looking at a CBS mock draft by the same one we were just talking about, Josh Edwards. So he doesn't have any text. He has Byron Murphy in the first round, right? We talked about that earlier. He has him going to the Raiders at 13.
Yep.
And then he has 6 Longhorns going in the second round. So he has A.D. Mitchell at 34 to the Patriots. He has Xavier Worthy at 43 joining his big bro, Bijan Robinson in Atlanta with hopefully Justin Fields.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he has him going to Atlanta. Atlanta at 43. He has Devondre Sweat going 48 to damn it. Damn. He has Devondre Sweat said to go 48 to the Jaguars. He has Jatavian Sanders 49 to the Bengals. What? I don't want that guy in my division.
Oh, I'm just saying, bro. It's funny.
I have to deal with CJ Stroud. Why do I want that guy?
It is funny. It is funny watching.
Now CJ Stroud, that's a generational quarterback.
That motherfucker is
that's a generation. That's a generational quarterback.
Well, I saw him on Micah Parsons' podcast, and he was just talking about
so good.
Oh my God.
Such a good episode.
So good. Oh.
I love you know what? I really like Michael Parsons' podcast.
No, Micah is really good.
It's a really good podcast.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
But CJ Stroud is generational.
Yeah.
That's what a generational quarterback looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's got that's it. That's he's only got a 2-round mock draft. But that's 6 Longhorns in the first 2 rounds. Look, Sark is doing big. This is what we call development. I remember when Tom Herman used to mention Devondre Stead's name, and I told him to shut up.
Yeah, dude, that was a
rough time. I hated that guy. I couldn't wait to get him off the team.
Oh my God, yeah.
Devondre, maybe Alfred Collins will be my surprise next year.
You used to hate him.
I still can't stand him. I'm waiting for him. I want to see this year. I really want to see. And Devondre Sweat said, "Hey, bro." He told me in the interview. He said, "Hey, bro, you better stop sleeping on Alfred Collins. You thought I was good? That dude's a boss."
Hey, man, he said it.
Devondre, my guy. I will watch for Alfred Collins.
You know what? They clipped up Devondre Sweat a lot today.
Bro, they had a whole 2-minute interview.
Yeah, the interviews that he did, they clipped him up a lot. But like you said, man, he did show a lot of love to past players and younger players that are getting ready to come out here pretty soon, and it was dope to hear about those guys.
He did also mention, he said, y'all better get ready. I'm here this year, but y'all better get ready for this podium next year because Kelvin Banks is going to be the number 1 tackle taken in the draft.
Oh, absolutely. Now
we all know that, but it's just cool to cool to be excited about, right? So I could actually watch the combine and be double excited.
Yeah.
For the guys that are there, for the guys that to come, and also just to see, I don't have to, be excited about maybe we draft an Alabama player. I'm like, hey, maybe we get a Texas player. This guy can make a difference for my team.
Right. Yep,
so, yes, of course, I want to see these guys play for the Colts because these guys are exciting players to watch.
Yeah. These aren't scrubs by any means.
No, these are some of the elites in this draft. A very deep draft class. This draft class is insanely deep at every position.
We might not see the player that we expect to go in the first round go in the first round. They might go second, third. Always is. Or we might even go all the way to the 5th and get on the field and blow everybody out of water. It is very, very possible. Because this draft class is so deep, it just goes to show you, we had these last 2 or 3 years, especially college football, just the landscape of college football has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
Great.
So real quick, and it doesn't have to be a Longhorn. What is one player that you're hoping your team gets in the first 2 rounds? We don't have to do it. We can do it. We don't. It doesn't have to be a
Honestly, I'm gonna throw a Longhorn out there because I really think that he could do some damage. I'm hoping what ends up happening is that we end up getting rid of Michael Gallup. I think we could trade him away for a later draft pick. It doesn't have to be high. It ain't gonna be high. Maybe like a 4th or 5th rounder. And I would really like the Cowboys to go get a Donnie Mitchell.
Okay, yeah, Adonai Mitchell would be perfect. He's the type of guy they need.
Right.
If you have that type of guy, he complements CeeDee Lamb very well, especially in the red zone. I know he's been compared to him, but I think he's a much better red zone receiver than because the guy you can also go up and get it.
CeeDee Lamb is a tall guy, but Adnan is a little bit heavier than him. And
yeah,
so
he's bigger.
Right. And so
he's better vertical too.
He's just as shifty, you know what I mean? He's just as shifty. He can move. And I would really like to see it. Man, and even if we couldn't get Adnan, I'll throw one out there. I know this is a long shot, and I know we talked about Tony Pollard earlier. I would not mind getting Adnan Mitchell. Not Adnan Mitchell, but Jonathan Brooks. I would love that. I would really like to see him get healthy. I went through this last year with Overshown,
That's right, dude. I can't wait to see that.
The last game on the very last play of the series that he was in, he got injured. He tore his ACL. They kept him out because there was talks about him possibly coming back later that year, like at the top of January. But with that being said, they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to let you get a whole year. We're going to give you the opportunity to get fully healthy. So that's also very dope. And I can't wait to see him, help out my Cowboys. That guy was excellent playmaker in college. I think he was one of my favorite players. Him and Jalen Ford together on the field. Oh my God. That was awesome to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going a different direction. I really want Braylon Trice, defensive end out of Washington, and the reason why I want him is because we don't need a guy that gets sacks. We actually were like 2nd or 3rd in the league in sacks.
Right.
What we were terrible with was pressures. Okay. Braylon Trice can pressure a damn quarterback.
Okay.
So he would be the perfect fit for that defensive line. To bring in opposite Kwity Paye to help, alleviate some of that pressure off of him. We need another wide receiver because I've accepted that Michael Pittman Jr. is a number 1 wide receiver, and his problem is there's nobody else around him. You go and get Josh Downs, but there's nobody else to take the focus off of him so that he can truly come into his own. So I think a guy like obviously Xavier Worthy is a guy I think would be perfect. Jalen Polk out of Washington would be perfect. I really like a Troy Franklin out of Oregon, somebody like that.
What pickers do you have?
We have 15 in the first round and then 42 in the second round.
Man, that would be dope. Man, y'all don't deserve
46.
It. Even if y'all had somebody like you're not going to be able to get him, but like a Brock Bowers, that would clear up so much.
That's who's currently projected to come to the Colts.
Brock Bowers is going to fall to 15. I just don't. But again, that goes to show.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
It's how deep this freaking class is. Like, you got players everywhere. 11 Longhorns, bro. 11. That's a lot. A lot of teams. Of course, you had like your Alabamas, your Georgias, and things of that nature. You you get like 4 players, 5 players in there, you're like, man, I did my thing. 11 is nuts.
Yeah.
Now, do we think all of them are going to get elected? No, we don't think all of them are going to get drafted. We pretty sure all of them are not going to get drafted. It's very rare. Like that
all of
one,
who?
that 1 year, all of the Alabama players and all of the Georgia players that got drafted.
You don't think every Longhorn will get drafted?
With my only thing is the injuries. My only thing is the injuries.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
I think some of these guys could be could definitely be I think everybody gets drafted. I think you're going to see some 6th and 7th round guys for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's still drafted.
Yeah, they're still drafted. Yeah.
Yep.
You could all, but I feel like as soon as the draft is over, we could also see such and such undrafted free agent just got picked up by whatever. You know, if they fall through the cracks, whatever the case may be. And I only believe there's like 1 or 2 players that fall through cracks, and that's solely just on injury.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. No, I do think it ends up that everyone gets drafted for sure.
Right.
So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. Good luck to these guys. Listen, this class should be near and dear to our hearts because this is the class that really turned it around for us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If we talk about culture and turning it around, this is the draft class that did it.
This is the COVID class. This is Sark's first class, and not his first official class, but the first class that he truly helped develop. Right.
This is the first class that he came into. These guys were young when he got here. So, good luck to these guys. Thank you for everything you've done for this program. We wish you the best of luck this weekend. Go do what you do, and we can't wait to see you guys in the NFL. All right, Tim. We spent a lot of time on that, but that's okay. Let's talk about college football playoff expansion. So, let's see here. So there's reports that were coming out. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Big Ten and the SEC putting together a committee of higher-ups to get together and discuss something, what I think will eventually turn into a league. But I think the first steps to that is obviously we get the 12-team playoff this year and next year, right? So 24 and 25 is the 12-team playoff. There's currently a proposal to move to 14 teams starting in 26.
Right.
Within this 14-team playoff, there is a report that per Ross Dellinger, and we'll post this later, of Yahoo Sports, who is basically saying that the Big Ten and the SEC are both, as a part of this, they are both saying that as part of this 14-team playoff that they want 2 teams automatic bids each. So essentially saying that the Big 12 and the SEC will have basically have the a quarter of the teams in the playoff. So go for it. What do you think?
Listen. Hear me out. Just hear me out. From a fan perspective, right? This is a fan battle podcast. We're fans, right?
Yes.
This is bad.
You think so?
Yeah, dog. Like I don't agree. Okay,
awesome.
Hear me out. I don't want to see, and this is gonna make sense. I don't want to see a SEC Big Ten challenge. If you want to be an SEC Big Ten challenge each other in the during the regular season. Challenge both of y'all. Challenge each other. Set up a schedule to where week 1 or week 2 y'all play each other. That way, you play early enough, you might be able to still get in there, possibly with a 1 or 2 losses. you'll be able to squeak in there. Don't try to hijack the playoff already. First off, we need to let this 12-team playoff breathe. It's like we need to let this breathe. I think this is a perfect amount. I think the way they have it set up is perfect. And we talked about this ad nauseum a couple weeks ago. It's Power Five, all Power Five champions at large, and then two. What's the other two? Forget what the other two.
It's like the top rated G5,
Right.
And then it's the top rated G5, four conference champions, right? Because the Pac-12 is not included,
Right.
And then, 7 at-larges.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. So you got 7 at-larges. You got your 4 power conferences, automatic bids if you win a conference. That's great. I think that's laid out perfectly. I feel like we're getting too far ahead. What my fear is that they're gonna have to learn how to adjust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, college football starts in September. It finishes in the first week of January. If they were going to get all these type of games off where they have this 12-team playoff, they're going to literally have to go and shift the games up 2 weeks in order to make room for that, for it to still end at the right at the targeted time that they've had before going to this 12 game playoff. So I just think we should let this breathe a little bit. Give it 4 or 5 years, see how it works out. Then go maybe throw 2 more teams in there. But going to 14 in two years, we don't even know how the 12 teams are going to work. We don't know how any of this is going to work scheduling wise. They still haven't really. They've given us a schedule without giving us an official schedule.
But they have given us an official schedule.
Oh, they've already. Oh, you're right.
Remember, it starts December 15th.
Yes,
that first week. Basically, the week after you get a week break and then it starts.
Right.
Or it might even be that next week.
Right, but it's already congested. Is basically what I'm saying. It's it's heavily congested. It's kind of nasty. And it's competing with the NFL. We all know how the NFL is king. Don't get me wrong. I love college football. NFL, college football, 1A, 1B, depending on the week. If the Longhorns lose, it's 1A. It's 1. It's 1. It's So yeah, I just don't like it, man. I think we need to let this breathe, man. What you think?
I agree. And I kind of jumped the gun earlier. I don't even remember. It took us 12 years to get to this point, right?
Yeah.
We had the 14 playoff for 12 years. And now you're talking about going from 12 to 14 in 2 years.
Right.
That screams nothing but money to me.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's all about money, right? It's all about money. But
at
the end of the day, I get what you're saying. I think 12 is actually perfect. I don't think it should be any more than 12 ever.
I don't think so either. Why?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. If you want to do something, make the bowl games more valuable. And I think with the 12 game playoff, making these bowl games, you'll make some of these bowl games more valuable. Again,
I think you're
gonna make the Cotton Bowl. You're gonna get the lust back in it. Remember, the Cotton Bowl was a big deal, bro.
Yeah,
the Cotton Bowl is a big deal, and because it's not in the playoff rounds, not that much. Or they rotate games between different bowls every couple of years, right?
Sure.
With the 12 game playoff, you've got these games. You'll be able to throw the Cotton Bowl back in there. What's the other game? You got Orange, Peach. No, you got the Fiesta,
the Cotton, the Sugar, the Rose, and the national title game. So that's 6 game. What's that other game you could throw in there that could be of relevance? Oh, you're talking about New Year's 6 bowl games?
Yeah.
So right now it is, you got the Peach, Fiesta, Orange, Cotton. Yeah, the Rose, the Sugar, and the national title game.
Right.
That's what it was this year.
Right.
You know what I think they should do? I just think the New Year's 6 games should be transposed to be the playoff games. I don't think there should be any home playoff games.
I agree.
I don't think now if you go to a 14, then you probably have home playoff games.
You have to.
But I think what you do in that spot is if you win your conference, you're guaranteed to host. Nobody should get buys. You're guaranteed to host a home playoff game. But then everything after that should be in one of these New Year's Six bowl games. And if you don't make the playoff, you get put in one of these other bowl games, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there needs to be some sort of incentive, and I don't know, $500,000 to your program or something like that. I don't know, like something that's meaningful. But there has to be something meaningful to the players as well,
right?
And maybe that's what we need to figure out. It's the rest of these bowl games that they really need to figure out.
Right.
The college football playoff is going to sell itself. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we know.
Finding value in everything else below the college football playoff, right? And I think maybe there's levels to it. Like if your team does well, there's some sort of incentive. And then if your conference does well, each team within the conference gets like, $500,000 extra in their media package for the year.
Right. We're turning this. This is basically turning into a business, right?
It is business. It's always been a business.
It's always been a business. They need to incentivize players playing in the bowl games.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 10,000. They got the money. The money's there. Figure it out.
Yeah. If you play, you get $2,000. If you win MVP, you get $10,000.
Whatever the case may be, eventually,
whatever it is,
they need to figure out some way, and we'll cover this when we get to the EA Sports playoffs. There's some numbers I want to throw out there because, again, a lot of these numbers that are being thrown out, some people disagree, some people don't. Either way, the deal's already done. It's already there. I think in the future we'll see better deals, but currently, right now, at the base of what some of these deals that are being done, the majority of the players are okay with it. So we should just work on that. But we got to find a way to incentivize getting these players to playing in these bowl games because it does suck seeing these guys just kind of sitting on the sideline with their chains on.
And not really giving a rat's ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. So I think it's too early to go to 14. I definitely think there will be an expansion. I just don't think it should be this soon. I also don't think there should be another expansion until there's another. The only reason why there was an expansion this year is because of realignment. Right. So I think the expansion should come in line with realignment. And I think maybe what they're thinking the Big Ten and the SEC are going to expand again. And maybe that's why they're asking for a second team.
Yeah.
We already know Little Brother's trying to run, which we didn't talk about.
And we didn't talk about that. We also didn't talk about Florida State. Whatever's going down on Florida State, man, is getting nasty.
Florida State, Clemson, and Miami will be in the SEC in the next 5 years. Guarantee it. I think those three schools will be in the SEC.
That'd be nuts.
And it makes it – they're all in the South. They're all in the same state.
Right.
Except for South Carolina. But even South Carolina, Clemson, that makes sense. Right. Because now you get that rivalry protected. So Clemson, South Carolina, every single year. They play anyway.
Right.
Florida State. You get Florida State, Miami. You get Florida versus Miami. Bro, you know how many rivalries just bringing those three schools brings into the conference?
Absolutely.
Insanity. They already hold the best, 4, 5, 6 of the best rivalries in college football.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just added probably the second best rivalry in college football history, Texas OU.
Right.
Some could argue the best.
Yeah.
But we'll see what continues to happen. I think it's too early to talk about college football expansion right now, but you just never know.
Right.
I think the only thing that makes sense to me is that this might align with another realignment.
Right. And that's what's been rumored. And we can't, and even with, you're exactly right. We shouldn't be talking about expansion, but it's just been so heavily rumored within the last couple of weeks. It's kind of hard to not pay attention to it.
Right. So,
that's why you guys are getting the updates that we're providing because it's hard to not talk about.
Yeah.
This one was a hard pill to swallow as well.
Yeah.
Texas women's basketball loses the Big 12 championship. to Oklahoma on a confidential call. The Lady Longhorns have a grand total of 4 losses on the season. One of the best teams in the nation. They definitely put a whooping on quite a few teams that are impressive. The one standout to me was Kansas State. At the time, Texas was ranked 10, and they were pretty stagnant. They weren't able to move as much. They beat up on Kansas State, completely dominate them, and then you start to see Texas move up within the rankings slowly but surely. We know that LSU is a great team. We know that even USC, they got a phenom over there. They look good. Colorado has looked decent at times. Arkansas has looked good at times. SC, we can't forget them. They're the big dogs.
That's the big dogs.
That's the big dogs.
That's the big dogs.
That's the big dogs. So we know they look good. It's going to be a very interesting, I'm going to be rooting pretty hard. I'm hoping that the Lady Longhorns could take it, at least get into the Final Four. I believe they're going to. To be completely honest, I've watched more Texas women games or women's basketball in general. Watch more of it. It just, you could blame it on Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson. You could blame it on whoever, right? To me, right now, and I wanted to mention this. I totally forgot about this to text you this. I did not realize how long women, especially college women players, how long they have to stay in college in order for them to go into the WNBA.
Is it 4? They have to stay all?
They have to stay 3 years.
Oh, 3. I wish they would do that to men's basketball.
They have to stay 3 years, or they have to be 22 years of age. 22 is crazy. So
which is similar to what they do in football.
Yes. So here's the thing with women's basketball. If you're starting like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson, my girl in USC, I can't remember her name, and she be putting up buckets. The entire SC South Carolina basketball team, you're gonna make more money in college with NIL than going to the WNBA. Those WNBA girls, the highest paid player, I cannot remember her name off the top of my head right now. She makes 200.
Is that Brittany Griner?
No, Brittany Griner doesn't make the highest. At first it was Asia Wilson, who plays for the Las Vegas Aces. She's no longer the highest paid, but I believe the highest paid WNBA player makes $250,000.
That's insane.
That
insanely bad.
Insanely bad. That is insanely bad.
The talent. But I will say this, and this is just like women's sports in general. The talent level is starting to rise,
right?
In women's basketball. So the competition, South Carolina dominated the last couple of years. Listen, South Carolina's been in some close games.
Yeah.
The talent in women's basketball is unreal.
It's really
a lot of parity.
It's unreal. It's really good. I think I'm enjoying it now because it's like I was watching the Arkansas team play, the Lady Razorbacks play against Stanford last week. That game was great.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. I just so happened to turn on ESPN. I was like, man, I ain't got nothing to watch. Let me see what's going on. I think I was in the transitioning of waiting on a game. That Arkansas Stanford game was so good, bro. And I was like, I gotta watch this because they look good. And bro, the longer they stay there, the more cohesive they look.
Yep.
They just look better, man.
I think that's how you fix the men's game because I think the men's game is broken right now.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And they have to fix it. This G League thing kind of made it worse. I mean, look at Texas; they lose 2 top prospects to the G League.
Exactly.
And it's probably why this team is struggling. And they're losing they're not losing like scrubs, dude. They lost one of the guys they lost is projected to go like top 10.
Right. And the thing is,
insane
what hurt us the most, I don't know if you remember this, we lost them late. We lost them
late
in the cycle. It hurt. Because I remember when I can't remember that guy's name. But he made the announcement saying, "Hey, I'm leaving." It was like a random. It was like a couple weeks before, maybe a month before the season started. 2 months.
They lost to AJ Johnson, right?
Mhm.
A guard, which this team desperately needs.
The guard.
This team desperately needs a guard. And he went to Australia or some weird shit like that.
Yeah, he went to Australia.
Who was the other guy? I literally just saw him. Coleman? No, not.
So what's the thing? What's crazy about that? Why you look that up is that Johnson was being heavily recruited. Like people were basically saying, like, "Bro, screw going to college. Just go to Australia, playing this Australian league because that's what
you only need to play a year.
You only need to play a year, and remember, that's the same thing LaMelo did.
Yeah,
that's the same thing LaMelo did. He went to the league, or he instead of going to college, he went over, played in Australia, did really dope in Australia, came back and got drafted to the Hornets, and he looked good.
Yeah, Ron Holland, that's the guy.
Yeah,
that was big. Ron Holland was the guy that I think Terry. He's the guy that Beard brought in, got committed. Terry ended up trying to keeps him, and then he's the one that randomly said on April 28th, he's like, "Oh yeah, actually I'm not coming.
I'm out of here. Get him out.
I'm gonna go to the G League. So, but he's still Ron Holland. You know, it worked out for him. He's still projected to go like top 10. But when I take a look back at this men's basketball season, yeah, they struggled with identity. I think that a lot of the issues they had this year were that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this men's team can do some damage in the NCAA tournament. And I say this because the Big 12 is so damn good. Dude, Kansas, I think the number one team in the conference has 4 losses in the conference.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good this conference is. So, yeah, we've been hard. I think we've been hard on Texas because we have expectations. I listen, don't get me wrong. I still think there's some things that Rodney Terry does that I don't like. But I think I think this conference is going to show out really. Sorry, the Cougars, the number one team in the conference, had 3 losses in the conference.
Right.
And they should have had 4 if Texas didn't choke.
Don't remind me.
So, Texas can still get into the tournament. They need 20. They should beat Oklahoma State on Saturday, who's 4-11 in the conference.
Right.
So they should do that. They should beat them. And then they need to get 1 of 2 more games. They either need to beat Baylor, which they go to Baylor, and they've done really well on revenge tours this year.
Yep.
So get that win, or they need to beat Oklahoma, which Oklahoma has not played well, and they basically,
Oklahoma's
boat race.
Oklahoma's really, really hot, and then they kind of just sputtered and tapered out recently.
I think they're overrated. But you could also say that same thing, right? Just a really tough conference.
It is a really tough conference. It is really, really tough.
Texas and Oklahoma are both currently 7-8 in the conference. I think they both lost maybe 3 games out of conference. But the problem with Texas is they didn't beat any of the ranked teams they played in non-con.
Yeah.
Oklahoma did. I think Oklahoma came into conference.
Texas didn't beat UConn?
Bro, Texas got boat raced by UConn.
I thought Texas got. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the lady. Hold on.
They got boat raced by that was a 20-point game for most of the game.
Dude, you know what's even worse? That Marquette game was vicious, dog.
Oh, and Shaka said, Shaka took him to school. That dude said, "You fired me? Watch this."
Yikes.
Yeah. Shaka.
Yeah.
That did not turn out well. But
anyway,
they should end well. They have Oklahoma State on Saturday.
Right.
Baylor Monday, and then Oklahoma next Saturday, in Norman next Saturday to finish the season.
Right.
And then I think just to add, and they need to win 2 of those 3. Like, the pressure's on. You win all 3, you're in. I think if you win 2 or 3 or all 3, you're definitely in. And then if you, depending on how well you do in the tournament, you start to increase, right? I mean, Texas won the last 2 Big 12 tournaments.
Right. Well, let's hope the men's and the women's team they finish out strong.
Yep.
I have a lot of faith in the women's team. I'm really expecting them to do bigger and better things. I know what the Longhorns can do, the men's basketball team, because I've seen it. We know they have the talent. For some reason, again, it's just the ebbs and flows of the season. They look good one half. They kind of remind us of that Texas team a couple years ago, where they start off really great and then they don't finish, or they don't start off great and then they finish really well, like they did against U of H, where they were just absolutely terrible in the first half, and then the second half they look like an all pro team, one of the top country teams in the country, but still
So
weren't
weird.
together. It's
So
very
weird.
But yeah, best of luck to them. I'll definitely check out those games in between watching the combine this week.
Yep.
Let's close it out with the last topic, man. EA Sports College Football. We kind of want to give you some updates about that, guys. It was a lot of info that came out last week, and it was a really fun time being a college football fan. No matter what team you root for, it was just dope to be a college football fan in general.
Yep.
There was quite a few numbers, right, that came out. There was numbers that have come out recently. Our buddy Matt Brown has really had an interview with, I can't remember what the other podcast name was. We talked about it last week. Go back and check our YouTube videos for that last week. We'll have more details on what podcast he was on. But there were some numbers that came out that we didn't really get to touch. And there's more information that came out or was made more clear as the week has gone on. So over 5,000 students have applied and opted in. It has grown over 9,000 now.
I was going to say it's probably almost double that at this point.
Yeah,
it was 5,000 within the first 12 hours.
Right. It's over 9,000. It's over 9,000 now. That's absolutely crazy.
Awesome.
And I just believe a lot of people, it is getting to that point to where like finals or midterms, spring break is coming up. I definitely believe it will get to that 10,000 threshold. I only believe there'll be like a couple hundred players that don't opt in, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of having this bargaining agreement, is to be able to profit off your name and image and likeness. So there's that. I also found out that EA has spent a grand total of $6 million that has been invested into the game. As far as these contracts are concerned, that's not including licensing of music or anything of that nature. This is just strictly information that goes, or money that goes into players' pockets. The EA has invested $6 million, and I think that's dope. What I think is going to happen, and at least I think you will understand where I'm coming from with this, is that as the game grows in popularity, and as the game grows in popularity and more games come out in the future, we will see larger bargaining agreements, right? Right now we see $600. Again, guys, you guys got to realize it's been 10 plus years that this game has not been back. This is the base. This is the base deal. I believe in the future, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe 2 or 3 years from now, we will see a new agreement where players will be able to get more money. Maybe it goes from 600 to 800. Maybe it's from 600 to 1,000. Maybe you get people like ESPN to come in and be like, hey, we want to be in on this. We want to give you some money too. Because right now we already know, and they've already announced it within all the news that came out last week, that ESPN will be a very big staple within this game. And I hope that other entities like Fox and other networks will be able to jump in on this too in the future. That way we can have a little bit of more variety. Also, we did find out shortly after after we had our podcast last week that there won't be any face scans. That was the thing that we talked about. How are they going to do face scans for 11,000 plus players? Like, how is that even going to work? Well,
time out. There won't be any at all?
They're saying there won't be any at all. There won't be any face scan. However,
that's new.
That is new. That is new.
I knew there wouldn't be face scans for head coaches.
What I do believe is, and we touched on this a little bit. We didn't touch on this a lot. And you mentioned it because you went into more detail about it, is that there are going to be ambassadors in the game.
Yes. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit. We didn't go into detail, but I believe there might not be. I don't believe that everybody will be scanned into the game. They've already verified this, but I do believe that the ambassadors will have maybe logos, their brand, whatever the case may be. That information will be in the game. Maybe they get some signature poses, maybe they get some signature animations in there. But I believe that the ambassadors of the game, and Harish, you had a list. Again, go back and check it out. There was a list of ambassadors that will be promoting the game, and we know for a fact that they will be getting bigger. They will have a separate deal, not just an NIL deal, but they will also have a different branding or ambassador deal that they will have as well. So that's what I've seen so far. Also want to go in depth with Matt also stated, and don't quote me on it, but he did loosely say that not team builder. He loosely said that creation is a focal point within the game.
Yes.
That is one of the things that he did ask about, and that was the answer that he was given. So if indeed there is a team builder in their game, I think that would be one of the focal key points of the game. What we haven't really talked about is that we haven't heard anything about an online dynasty, and we haven't heard anything about how many teams will be in an online dynasty.
I think that's the kind of stuff we won't find out until like later,
right.
When we get the trailer, or maybe leading up to the trailer.
Right.
I think they're not going to specifically call online dynasty out separate from dynasty, right?
Right.
It's just called dynasty mode. So I think that's going to include online dynasty. It's going to include regular dynasty, so on and so forth, right? One thing that stuck out to me in one of the interviews, and I believe his name is Thrasher Talks. I have to go check. He had an amazing interview with Matt Brown.
That's the guy. That was
the guy that grew very quickly. I want to try to see if we can get him on our show.
Yeah, for sure.
That guy is awesome, and I've already spoken to him a couple times in this Discord group that I'm in. But he asked Matt Brown about specifically the Madden reskin question that comes into play, and I was like, "Yes, finally, somebody that knows gaming development can give us an educated answer." Because you and I know why this isn't the case, right?
Right.
And really, it comes down to, just to put it black and white to you, people don't realize how many games are built on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, NBA 2K, The Witcher, Final Fantasy. These are not the same game.
Yeah, a lot of classics.
And they are built on the same engine.
Yeah.
Hell, go to Frostbite. Look at how many different games Frostbite has. You have all the sports games. You have Battlefield. You have Dead Space. You have Plants vs. Zombies.
Right.
The engine is just a framework. And I think this is the best way to put it for those of you guys that don't understand how that works. The engine is just a framework. And a framework is basically saying, it could just be, here's your textures, here's your, whatever. Everything else is driven by code.
Right.
And that's why you have developers who can take the framework, manipulate the code in order to do what they need the game to do.
Exactly.
And they have the flexibility to do that because they have a framework to work around. And so that's why that the game could play completely different. listen, if they wanted, honestly, if they just wanted to copy and paste the Madden code and then just change the team names and leave it at that, they could have easily done that.
Right.
But they chose not to do it.
Right. They chose not to do that. One, I think because, again, that's honestly what I thought was going to happen a few years ago. I thought we would get.
Oh, I didn't think so.
So hear me out. What I thought would happen is that they would utilize the same engine, which they did verify. I thought that they would utilize maybe the base, like the foundation of Madden, but still add on their spin to it, which we found out is completely not true. We found this out months ago in the shareholders meetings that EA had when he spoke about this. They spoke about this briefly, but one of the what was said was that of course they would be utilizing the same engine, which for a lot of you guys that are if you're not aware, Madden and college football have always been, for majority of the time, have always been on the same engine. The Ignite and Frostbite were a main pivotal points at EA. I know the Ignite engine a lot of people did not like, but the Frostbite for sure, Unreal Engine for sure. A lot of these sports titles and stuff were made on those engines, but they had different developers, different coding, and different animations. And when that's always been a thing about Madden. That's always been a thing about college football. Do I like Madden? Yes. Do I think NCAA and college football have better animations, better playbooks and stuff like that? Absolutely. I think those things make college football what college football is, and I think things over, what Madden does is what Madden makes better. So, with that being said, we know for a fact that they're going to utilize different animations in a different development team. They're two separate teams. They're not the same developers from Madden on college football. And I'm glad that that gentleman asked that question, because asking that question, it's not that he asked the question, it's how he asked the question.
Yes, and he did a great job of doing so, and he basically asked, about breaking it down as if they were stupid, right?
Right.
Hey, explain this to me like I'm 5.
Right.
Why is this not built the way it is, right? Why is this? Why are people continuing to say that this is not going to be a Madden rebuild? There's also a tweet that came out where somebody says that there was a source, right, that said an EA dev told him that he cannot wait for people to see the gameplay for this game.
I can't wait.
He's tired of people saying that this is a Madden reskin. So
man,
there's a lot of confidence internally for this game as well.
And honestly, I'm going to be completely candid. I'll give some insider information. When we were at EA, I never heard anything like that.
Where a developer was excited to see
the only time that I heard of it, he wasn't even a developer. He was just a point of contact, and he came from the FIFA studios. Other than that, I didn't hear anything like that.
Yeah,
I just didn't. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
But for developers to openly, because EA developers are tight fucking lipped, dog. Those guys.
Oh, EA as a company is tight lipped.
Yeah,
they don't let a lot of stuff out at all.
They don't. And so for a developer to get out there and say that puts a battery in my back. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, for sure.
So again, I just wanted to fill you guys in on that news. Again, it makes things more clear as we get closer and closer to NCAA or EA Sports College Football till we get to that May mark. We're not that far away. We're basically in March, right?
March is tomorrow.
March is here.
So 60 days.
Dog. That's 8 weeks, bro.
Days.
That's 8 weeks.
That's not a long time.
That's not.
And you know what? It'll come an hour faster because the time changes next week.
Time changes next week. You know what I'm saying? Longer days, shorter nights. I always love that. That means
I do too, man.
You get to be outside a little longer. The grills, man. Listen, the grills are getting pulled out.
Getting mine prepped. I'm gonna start prepping mine this weekend.
Breaking up that morning dew. That morning dew is starting to fade a little bit. Starting to get a little. It's just foggy. It's not super cold, man.
You know, it will be cold tonight. It's currently 45.
Yeah, it'll be cold tonight, but it's
tomorrow. It'll be a crisp 80. We go from 45 to 80 in a couple hours. Awesome, love it.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
Well,
you got anything else, man? Party shots?
No, man. Again, I'm really excited. I got some stuff for us. That's gonna be dropping. I'm really excited. Put a lot of work in it, a lot of detail. You know, again, I've been watching a lot of Pat. Pat's been on I don't know if you've been watching, but he's been kind of like on a circuit. Like he did the All podcast. He's kind of been around. He was with WWE on Monday and stuff like that. But, man, I was listening to him talk, and man, he like with the stuff that he's done. And you know, you introduced me to Pat McAfee, right? Like as far as from a content perspective, like you introduced me to Pat McAfee in like 2018, and
when he first started his show.
Yeah, 2018, and I watched one show and I've been hooked ever since. So
it's awesome. I love that.
You know, they haven't been on air this week. I think they're doing like a vacation or whatever the case may be. But man, he's been on this kind of like media tour where he's kind of just been all over the place. I really love what he's doing, man, and I like how he creates content. And I want to create content like him. And in order to create content like him, you must create content. So even with lifing, new job that's not going too well right now, still, it just further lets me know that I need to be making content. And so that is what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Yeah, we put out that little gift the other day with Texas beating Texas A&M, so that got some good stuff. Listen, you know, Tim makes all the cool professional videos. I'll do the in-betweener teeners and
hey man, I get out there and talk.
No. I'm saying like your video making is way better than mine.
Hey man,
I just do the little things in between there. So
I wouldn't even say I'm a beginner. I would say I'm like intermediate.
Oh, I'm definitely like a toddler. So I mean. So, but yeah, follow us on TikTok. I'm going to pull up my TikTok real quick because I forgot the name of the TikTok name. It is longhorn.fan.battle.
Or you could just type in Longhorn Fan Battle.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey. Sorry about that. You know how to search TikTok. So Longhorn Fan Battle on TikTok. Follow us there. We're going to start posting some stuff at least once or twice a week. Right, Tim?
Yep, I got something that's coming down the pike tonight. I just need to find how to do watermarks really quick, drop it in a video, and then we're done.
Okay. Dope. Tim, where can the people find you? And we'll add TikTok to our banners.
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
I will do that.
Yeah. So you can find me at Tim Wayne, or you can also find me at Longhorn Fan Battle. Let's talk football. Tell me who you guys are planning on playing with in EA Sports College Football. Give me some predictions. Again, we got about 8 weeks. We're looking at about 8 weeks now till we get a full reveal. Let me know what y'all plan on doing. You got some predictions? Do you think there's gonna be mascot mode back in the game? Do you think they're gonna have created covers?
Covers. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah, that's right. We talked about that. They had that website, bro. That website
where you could go in and create your own cover. Yeah, that's dope, man. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, what your predictions are. We're getting ready to head into March Madness too. We're not overlooking that. We're not overthinking that. We're not passing that up. We definitely know that March Madness is coming. We know conference games are coming, so we're going to be talking about that. Colorado Buffs, baby.
Thank you, Ariel.
Yeah, shout out to Ariel.
Make sure you like the video.
Make sure you like the video.
If you don't like the video, I don't care about your comment. But make sure you like your video.
Oh, man. Reese, where can they find you, bro?
Well, they can find me on the internet at the Uncle Gandhi. At the Uncle Gandhi. Also, find me on the Longhorn Fan Battle. Of course, follow us on Twitter. Find me Tuesday nights on the Horseshoe Mob Fan Battle podcast, where I tell everybody how bad of a GM Chris Ballard is. And then you can find me Sunday nights. I think we're gonna. So our NFL shows on the network have taken a break, and we're gonna pick back up, obviously, with the Combine back, starting the new NFL league season. So catch me Sunday nights every now and then on the AFC South Fan Battle podcast.
Are y'all gonna start as the new league season next week?
Yeah. So new league season's next week. So we'll probably cover like Combine, new league season, and then we probably once like free agency starts, we'll do like bi-weekly shows.
Free agency,
and then when we'll do bi-weekly shows basically from free agency all the way through until training camp, and then we go back to weekly shows.
Yeah. Dude, I would love to jump in there. I think free agency is gonna be nuts this year. Yeah. I think we're gonna see a lot more movement than what I think it will be more of an active year than it has been in the past. And the last couple of years have been somewhat active.
Yeah, you know what I do during free agency?
Nothing.
This is what I do during free agency.
Hope and pray that you don't overpay for a rookie, or not a rookie, expiring rookie contract.
No, this is what I do during free agency. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Nope, not that.
Drive. You get on boats and get drunk on the river.
That's what I do during free agency. What? That's what I do. That's what I do.
That's the Eagles right there. The Eagles and SpongeBob.
No. This is the Colts. This is the Colts right here.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying the Eagles.
And this is the rest of the NFL.
Yeah. The Eagles are always doing something crazy. So I would say that SpongeBob is the Eagles. The Ravens, I'd say they're probably
Patrick.
They're up there as well. They're always active. So I would say that's the Ravens as well.
Total side gig to this. Do you know I watched a TikTok the other day about what the meaning of the show was?
No.
So the basis of the show is supposed to represent different types of behavioral diseases. Like
you're not finna hit me with no conspiracy, dog.
No, but it makes a lot of sense. Like Patrick is supposed to represent anxiety. Mr. Krabs is supposed to represent OCD. Squidward is supposed to represent like being lonely and like by himself all the time. SpongeBob is supposed to represent like ADD. Somebody hit me with that. I was like, wait a minute. If you go back and watch the show,
man,
it makes a lot of sense.
It makes sense. I just hate the fact that it makes sense.
I know. Me too.
Man, listen, you get lost in those TikTok theories, man, they'll have your mind warped.
Yeah, but that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me next Sunday or during free agency. I'm actually gonna share that with the Horseshoe Mafia podcast. But anyway, guys, don't forget, follow us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. We're gonna do some graphical changes in the background. I actually found the background.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do some background changes, make some new overlays. I'm messing around with and doing some Photoshop stuff. So we'll have some new overlays that we'll be able to mess with. But hey, between now and then, my name's Harish. That's my guy, Tim Wayne. We'll see you later. Peace.
Gabriel, welcome.
Go home, touchdown.